Hi, hello. Welcome to my channel. In this video, I will be making the Rosie shirt. I wanted to make a summer shirt, a button down for a while now, and I've been looking for a pattern that I liked. I also had some leftover linen from some pants that I just made, and I have a leftover linen from a dress that I made a few years ago. And I got the idea to put them together. I saw something on Instagram. It was a button-down shirt that was two-toned, and I thought, is that going to work? So I'm going to try it and see if it works. My name is Linda. I'm an actor and writer and a lover of beautiful clothes and fashion and sewing. I live in New York and it's really hot right now. So I'm in the process of making some summer things and overall in the process of creating a wardrobe that feels like me. In my work, I write and create in order to express my internal life, how I feel, what's going on with me, my history, my point of view. I'm always trying to connect what's going on internally to my voice as an artist and put it out there. And it's the same with fashion. It's exactly the same. There's an expression of the self that you want to make with the clothes that you put on. Even if it's a t-shirt and jeans, you want to feel like yourself. And if you're putting on things that are not you entirely, there's an unease about walking out the door, even walking around your home. So that's what I'm working toward with everything I make. I want it to be thought out. I want it to be purposeful. I want it to be useful. I've gotten away from fast fashion for the most part. I can't say 100%. I still need to buy a few things now and then. But if I'm going to buy something, I want to try to buy the highest quality and really get something of value that I'll have for a long time. I also thrift a lot. There's so many beautiful, barely used things out there that you can get. So that's my goal, and I'll be posting videos along the way. All right, let's cut this thing out and see if it's going to come together. I'm excited. Thanks. Thanks so much for watching and for being here. Once you've cut out your fabric and attached your inner facing to the collar and the front facing, the first step is to zigzag or overlock the inside edge of the front facing. It's important to mark the wrong side of the fabric on all your pieces before you start, especially if it's difficult to tell which is the right and wrong side, as it was in my case. Next, attach the outer back yoke and the two front pieces at the shoulder seams and press the seams toward the yoke. Right sides together, sew the front facings to the inner back yoke and press the seams toward the yoke. Right sides together, align the front pieces and the front facings along the center seam and sew. I used black interfacing, so that facing piece that's being sewn onto the lavender front looks like it's black, but it's not. It's just the interfacing. Press the facing and front seam flat, and then clip the seam allowance through both layers at the center front notch on the lapel, stopping just about 1/8 of an inch away from the stitching line. Trim the seam allowance down to half on the front facing side below the lapel notch only. Trim the seam allowance down to half on the front piece above the lapel notch only. Below the lapel notch, press the seam allowances towards the front facing. On the lapel, press the seam allowances towards the front. Chalk mark 1 centimeter above the lapel break point on the front side and 1 centimeter below the break point on the facing side. Understitch through all layers on the front side from the top until the chalk mark. Switch to the front facing side and understitch from the bottom marking on the facing to the bottom edge of the shirt. Align the front and the front facing right sides together at the top notch of the lapel. Stitch, trim the corner, turn right side out, and press. With right side of the inner back yoke facing the wrong side of the front, align the yokes at the shoulder. From the notch of the facing all the way to the end, sew the outer and inner back yokes through all the layers. With right sides together, align the upper collar and the under collar at the top edge, sew at 1 centimeter from the edge. Press the seam flat. Trim the under collar seam allowance down to half. The trimmed collar from now on will be the under collar. Understitch the under collar through all the layers. Chalk mark the seam intersection at 1 centimeter on the corner of the upper collar. Fold the seam allowance towards the under collar and stitch the side of the collar at 1 centimeter from the edge. Stop sewing at the crossing mark. On the wrong side of the collar, mark the stitching line intersection at 1 centimeter from the edges. With the under collar right sides together with the outer back yoke, align and pin the collar to the shirt neckline. Match the upper collar right sides together with the inner back yoke. Align the neckline all the way to the markings on the collar and front facing and stitch. Right sides together, align and pin the short ends of the collar and stitch. And the collar is done, and it looks pretty good. Align and pin the back neck seam allowances together between the side notches and stitch. Cut on the curve so that when you turn it right side out, it'll lay flat. Collar's done. Many steps making that happen. But it looks really good. The back is going to be lavender also. I'm liking this color combination. I think it's going to work. I think it's going to be fun to wear. It's giving me a little retro bowling shirt action, which I really like. Fold the 2 sets of side pleats on the back piece toward the armholes and stitch. Lay the shirt on a flat surface with right side up. Pin the back and the upper back yoke right sides facing. Roll the bottom hem of the shirt towards the pin back in a burrito style. Flip the right side of the inner back yoke to meet the wrong side of the back. Pin the 3 layers along the back seam. The back of the shirt is now sandwiched in between the right sides of both back yokes. Sew all 3 layers together. Turn the shirt right side out and press. Sew the side seams, creating French seams. Put the wrong sides together first, sew very close to the edge, then iron flat to open up the seam. Put the right sides together and sew about 3/8 inch from the edge. That will enclose the seams and they'll look really clean on the inside. Okay, the side seams are done, and I did French seams, as I said, so the inside is completely clean, which is really important with this fabric that frays so much. All right, almost there, onto the sleeves. With the short ends of the cuff right sides together, sew at 1 centimeter from the edge, press the seam flat, clip the cuff at the fold. With the right side of the cuff and the right side of the shirt together, pin through all the layers, matching the side seams, and stitch. Finish the raw edge of the cuff and sleeve seam. Press the hem 1 centimeter and 1 centimeter again to make a clean finish and stitch. When I rethread the machine, I always run through a scrap piece of fabric to make sure the threading is correct and there's no issues on the back. When I open up the buttonhole, I always put a pin at the end so I don't rip past the buttonhole and have a big problem. And I'm done. I like it a lot. I'm really pleased. I think I'm going to get a lot of wear out of it this summer. And it does actually match up with what was inside my head, which is always very satisfying. I like it a lot with this deep purple skirt and the red shoes. And I can wear it, of course, with jeans or shorts, these cargo pants. Those are the black linen pants that I just made. It's the same fabric as in the shirt. I'll put a link for that video below. All right, well, thank you so much for watching and good luck with your sewing projects, and I'll be back soon with another video.